Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Bilodeau and I'm the Sales Tax Product Marketing Manager at Sovos. Our sales tax business was started nearly 40 years ago and is the foundation of what Sovos is known for as a global, multinational software company today. Our founders recognized that the increasing pace of regulatory change, coupled with digital transformation and the advances of software and technology, would create a critical need for automating sales tax processes in a scalable way. We've seen the trend of governments embracing technology-enabled compliance processes as they work to close the tax gap on a global basis, and the US has absolutely been a part of that. We offer a modern, innovative approach to meeting your sales tax compliance needs from beginning to end. Specifically, Sovos software solutions automate aspects of the sales tax lifecycle and ultimately reduce the time, effort, and burden someone may be experiencing trying to manage this themselves. We support a variety of industries, including wholesale and manufacturing. Our customers in the retail space have varying levels of sales tax complexity, whether they're e-commerce only, managing an omni-channel strategy, or leveraging direct sellers. We're here to support them through any business scenario. When it comes to solutions that support our clients' needs, Sovos has an always-on tax determination engine that ensures our clients charge their customers the correct sales tax on every transaction quickly and accurately. Our Cert Manager tool helps you maintain valid, updated, and easily accessible exempt certificates. With Sovos' sales and use tax filing software, we ensure that clients accurately file and remit the sales tax they collect in all jurisdictions. We're also a certified service provider through the Streamlined Sales Tax Program, which simplifies sales tax reporting and reduces the time internal teams spend on compliance. Overall, we create a streamlined and automated process that allows our clients to focus on other business priorities. Sovos is a dedicated, long-term global partner with incredible expertise and regulatory knowledge that can meet your needs now and in the future. One of our existing customers actually shared that they came to our Knowledge Center while still with a previous vendor to find information, which was quite telling in terms of our regulatory expertise and was a key factor in their decision to switch. Our highly qualified regulatory analysis team includes tax professionals, lawyers, and CPAs, all dedicated to keeping Sovos clients current with the rapidly changing pace of regulations. In fact, we've seen some particularly interesting changes the past year in relation to the pandemic. For example, the need to define taxability for face masks, as well as discontinuation of grocery store bag fees. The regulatory team is also gearing up for the sales tax holiday period, ensuring that our clients will be fully supported and charge their own customers the correct sales tax on each transaction. So when we think about your first Sovos encounter to implementation and beyond, you have a dedicated Sovos team to meet your needs. Our technology offering is unlike anything else within the industry, and the mentality we have for investing in our infrastructure and cloud solutions is unique. I'd like to highlight 3 significant accomplishments from the past year, starting with Sovos Filing. Sovos Filing was named a winner of the 2020 SIIA CODI Awards in the Best Compliance Solution category. Our solution enables accurate, efficient management of hundreds of monthly state and local returns and subschedules, no matter how often regulations change. Sovos Global Tax Determination, in terms of our second accomplishment, has achieved the state of active-active, which is where quote and audit calls flow seamlessly through both our primary and secondary data centers. This includes automated checks that monitor and analyze the health of each data center and directs traffic appropriately. Active-active doubles the capacity for transactions to support business services and empowers businesses to operate 24/7, 365 days a year. Achieving a state of active-active provides an additional layer of protection to keep critical business operations, such as tax, running. Related to active-active, our platform had incredible performance during one of the busiest shopping times of the year, Black Friday and Cyber Monday 2020. Black Friday online sales increased by nearly 22% compared to the previous year, while Cyber Monday sales increased nearly 15% from 2019. Our calculation engine showed transaction volumes reaching 7 times higher than average, and the system performed seamlessly with 100% uptime through the unmatched demand on cloud services. Response times met or exceeded performance expectations, even as line item calculations soared. For our third accomplishment, we have Sovos Hybrid Cloud, which is a deployment offering. Sovos Hybrid Cloud has been a key area of investment for our organization and is a lightweight, flexible, containerized on-premise deployment model. The hybrid cloud deployment option for our determination engine offering ensures customers can meet their high availability, low latency, and scalability requirements by allowing the calculation portion of the engine to be closer to the transaction source. This gives clients the best of both worlds with a centralized, configured reporting structure in a SaaS environment without all of the overhead associated with on-premise. In terms of the future of Sovos, Sovos will continue to invest in the technology and regulatory expertise to ensure our clients can effectively manage all of their sales tax and compliance requirements, while also reducing the internal burden of an increasingly complex activity. Our goal is to continue to help companies meet their regulatory obligations while reducing their financial and reputational risk. We know that tax should never be an obstacle for growth, and will provide the solutions our customers need to scale operations and grow their business without fear of non-compliance. Outside of our reliable solutions, we pride ourselves on offering our clients a dedicated Sovos team that is never more than a call away. When working with us, you can focus on your core business, knowing that when it comes to sales tax, Sovos has your back. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Shelby.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, that was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. And how are you today?
I'm great. I know we had you on earlier, so it's great to have you back. You brought incredible energy. So I'd love to actually jump right in since these sessions do run quickly. To start, I'd love to actually hear what types and stages of businesses Sovos is best set up for, and if this is something that businesses should be setting up from day one.
Absolutely. That's a great question. So we try to cover all kinds of aspects of the market, whether it's, small mom and pop shops and maybe they're selling in one state and selling one type of thing, all the way up to, global organizations that could have multiple billions to their revenue. So we tried to work on all of the different assets. What we do by being able to adhere to all different types of companies is we take a partnership approach through all of our customer experiences. So we really need to understand what your expectations are from a customer expectation all the way through to improving internal expertise as well.
I hear that. I mean, your area of business is an area that, it's very important. Sometimes product and marketing takes the, glitz and glamour, right? In terms of focus. And as a result, you have a moving target though, on a very important part of your business being tax and compliance. So what are some of the pitfalls you're seeing for brands and when they don't have the right kind of infrastructure in this in this area in place?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, maybe I'll lean on COVID for a little bit here. When that happened last year, a lot of businesses that might have had a brick and mortar or traditional sense of like a point of sale and physical location, we're all kind of like, what do we do now? How do we reach our customers? And it was more of a race against time to set up things like e-commerce platforms. Then you have to think about, well, how do we charge the tax? And then how does this all relate back to our filing process? And trying to make sure that you're thinking of not only the customer aspect and how to adhere to that demand, but also make sure that you're kind of well rounded on the back end as well.
And what are some of the different ways that you work with D2C organizations?
Yeah, absolutely. So in an e-commerce event like that, like I was just talking about, maybe you're looking at a website for the first time. It's really important for us to understand what your scalability measures would need to look like. So if you are looking about like latency, when we show tax to the customer for the first time, all of that needs to get taken into consideration before we ultimately deploy something to the market. So again, I think it would really just be narrowing down into some actual expectations.
Is it specific? I know, for instance, wine and spirits a ton more compliance probably issues than maybe some other categories. I'm no expert though, so I'd be curious to know, is this relevant for every category? I mean, and how important is it?
Absolutely. So I would even break it down to bare minimum. Like if it's an item that you're selling, then some jurisdiction is going to want to collect tax on it at some point in time. So trying to just get an understanding of what you're selling and how that affects different jurisdictions. So something like a heavily regulated good, like spirits and wine, they might have actual expectations of who should be buying it, how should it be purchased, things like that, where they get into some of the more specific, intricate details.
Now that we're focused on D2C, right, you're taking down the walls of maybe even domestic territory and thinking about international as a frontier. What are the things to think about as you're planning your international endeavor, maybe your stretch, into Europe or some of these other territories, and how far in advance should you be starting to map out your compliance?
Yeah.
Strategy?
That's a great question. I'd say the mapping out question starts off with the first decision of how do we expand globally? Is it organic growth where, maybe we're going to go out and buy a warehouse and we're going to do the R&D and we're going to, actually put the time and effort into building organically? Or, maybe you're looking at the market, you've got some competitors that are internationally and you're looking at acquisitions. And then from there, it's all about kind of rolling it up into the rest of the system. How do you do the registrations? What is it like when you're actually doing the tax calculation itself, all the way through to filing and getting it back to the jurisdictions?
I mean, it's so great to have a partner like you. I'm curious to know, what questions should brands be really asking themselves to know if they're really well positioned?
Yeah, great question. So obviously you should think about your product first and sort of what you are building out there from the customer experience. And then from there, it really should define what the customer would be expecting. In some cases, when companies try to maintain tax rates themselves, a lot of the times it's hard to pinpoint which jurisdiction actually can collect over this transaction. So sometimes you might run into cases where you're overcharging your customer just based on a bad zip code. And in those cases, maybe you're driving the customer away. So it's important to really kind of look at all of the aspects there.
That's actually so interesting, especially as it goes down into things like bottom line and how much you're actually paying to support that customer. Is there any other we have 1 minute left of our showcase. Is there any other just great tips and takeaways that our brands can pull from this you'd like to share?
Absolutely. And honestly, I might even piggyback from Alec, our last spotlight. Just do your homework. Make sure that you're looking at all of the different tax providers out there or providers in general, because you're not always looking at an apples to apples comparison. So it's really good to make sure that you know what your expectations are, and then also making sure that the providers are transparent in the offering that they're going to give to you. So homework would be the best one.
Well, for any brands listening out there, obviously, there are so many nuances. The nuances are a moving target sometimes, and especially as we're moving through times like this. Please get in touch with, at least as a starting place, if you don't already have a solution, Sovos, just to start asking those questions and making sure you're really well positioned. Shelby, thank you so much for the time, the session earlier, bringing your energy and so many just great perspectives. Where is the best place to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Sovos.com would probably be the best way to get in touch with us. Otherwise, all of us are on LinkedIn. You can certainly reach out to me directly if you'd like as well. So we've got all kinds of different channels. But thank you so much, Michelle, for having me today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shelby. All right, up next. See you later.